2, 1. What's up, guys? This is the Board Game Roller, and I'm back with, that's right, Zephyr Winds of Change. We're doing our solo playthrough, and at the end of the last episode, we had completed the second day in the first region, completed our assignment. So technically at this point, other than getting through to the last day, we have completed the requirements for everything we need to do except for fight the commander at the end. So we're going to start a new day. We're just going to jump right into it. And this is the first time that we have switched regions. So we're going to go ahead and move our marker, boom, to the day 3. And what happens now is we go to our region deck. This is the region we were in. So again, we have several regions, so we're going to just flip the next region over. And this is the city of Flotsam. Each player's purchase each day is reduced by 5 scrap, so it's a little bit cheaper to purchase some stuff here, which is cool. We like that. Also, what we need to do is, because we completed our assignments, we need to draw another assignment. Remember that normally, let's see here, I did this wrong last time too. If we took an assignment, I believe it goes underneath the pile. Excuse me, if we took an assignment and didn't actually take it instead of being discarded. So we've completed the gauntlet. So now we're going to take 2 more assignments. We're going to pick the one of these 2 assignments that we want to do. The other one will again go back to the bottom. So we have Rendezvous. Basically, this is a pretty straightforward 2-day mission. We can choose whether we want to do combat or salvage on these 2 days. And on the last day, we get 10 scrap free. Or we can do fuel delivery. So it's a 2 or 3 days, which will give us a reward roll on the last day. If we do 2 days or 3 days, oh man, wow, honestly I think this is the better one, just because the reward roll, and remember, a reward roll is we could get either a silver, gold, or silver or gold system, or 20 or 30 scrap, which could be very, very useful at the end of the second day if we complete this, so that we could purchase perhaps another crew member down here. I took the crew member in the last episode, and I'm kind of wondering if that was really the best move, just because as nice it is. Sorry, I didn't buy a crew member. I bought another system. As nice as it is to have 4 cards, we can still really only play 2. Okay, so that's something to consider. We're still only going to be able to play 2 cards, but it is what it is. So we're going to go with it. Let's set this over here. I think we're going to go with this fuel delivery. I think that's what we're going to do. All right. So we're going to put that there. Take this card. We're going to put it on the bottom of the pile here of our assignments deck, and we're going to go to the next step. We're going to explore. So to explore, we start on the first day. First day is a question mark. So do we want to do combat or do we want to do salvage? And I think let's start with combat and see how we do. Yeah, let's start with combat and see how we do. Backfire. Using cloud cover to ambush your enemies is an excellent idea. This idea, however, lacks originality, as it seems someone else had the same idea. Draw one enemy ship during the first phase of this battle. You may not play any attack cards. Interesting. So we have to draw a ship. and we drew the Octodecillion. Okay, so here it is. Now we need to populate it. Remember, we're now on 2. Let's get some cubes out here. So we have 1 health, 2 health, 1 armor, and 1 crew. Alright, so this is going to be a bit tougher. So we've drawn our enemy ship. Remember, in the first phase we cannot play attack cards. So we're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, because we have our base 2 cards plus 1 for an additional card for every 2 ship systems. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 ship systems. So at least we have options. Alright, so we can play 2, and wouldn't you know, every single one of these is a combat card. And we cannot play that on the first phase. So we literally cannot play anything that we just drew. Excuse me. Wow. That is messed up. Alright, so I guess we're going straight. You guys have seen the battle enough in the previous episode, so we'll go ahead and declare our target there. But wow. That is, man. Okay, here we go. Let's see what they do. We got a 2 and a 6. A 2 is evade 1 attack, and a 6 is nothing. So this actually worked out very, very well for us, because they actually did no damage to us. We like that. Okay. So we resolve the enemy actions. We can discard. I think I'm going to actually keep everything I have, and we're just going to try to pound this guy and see what happens. So we start back in the attack phase, declare targets. We only have 1 target. And draw cards. We don't have to draw up because we already have our hand. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play Matchlock Repeater. And this, when we play this, we're going to play this from our crew. It says deal 1 damage, you may play 1 additional attack card. So we're going to play that. Then we can play 1 additional attack card. So we're going to play Cannon Blast. So that's going to be 2 attacks with 1 damage each. And that comes from our Greaser. Then we're going to play Inferno Lance for ourselves as the captain. That's to deal 1 damage. If this attack is not evaded, kill 1 crew member on the targeted enemy ship and roll for additional damage. So we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully we can take this thing out and he does not evade one of these, but again, we will see. So let's roll, because there's really nothing we can do here until we find out what he does. So we're going to roll our 2 dice, 1 for the ship, 1 for the additional crew, and it's a 3 and a 4. So a 3 and a 4 is 1 damage. 1 damage, and roll again. And that is a 6, which is nothing. So that's a total of 2 damage coming our way. So both of our armor points are gone, but he did not evade. So technically did 1 damage, 2 damage, 3 damage, and then we could roll. And just because I'm curious as to what would have happened, oh, look at that, a 6, 5. So that would have been a total of, yeah, 5 damage. That is a total of 5 damage. That's 1 off his armor, 1 off of his health, 1 more off of his health. That's 3. There's still 2 damage, but we've already killed him, and technically we killed the crew as well because of the Inferno Lance. Alright, So that is pretty good, although we did lose some armor. And being the end of the round, we're going to discard everything that we played. There we go, good deal. Discard everything in our hand. And we get these settled up here. Take our token back. This card is defeated. Now, since we are in region number 2, we're going to be rolling 2 dice. And I'm going to roll these dice. Let's see if how they show up. They kind of show up. It's very difficult to see, but these dice actually have hand-carved skulls for the pips, which I think is pretty darn cool. They're painted, hand-carved and hand-painted. No, not by me. I ordered these offline. So I'm going to just roll these because I think they're looking cool, and we'll see what we get. Alright, so we got a total of 7, and again we rolled 2 dice because it is the second region. That means for scrap purposes we roll 2 dice. So 6 and 7 is 13. So let's set our scrap meter to 13. Oops, not 93. That would be awesome. Alright, cool. So this card goes to the discard. First actual card we've had to go to the discard. This ship goes to the discard. We discarded all of our cards. We did salvage. So there you go. Now, one thing interesting to note is that the way that armor works is each day your armor is repaired, okay, but your health is not. So if I had taken, say, 3 damage, this would have been flipped over and I would still have to keep this, okay? But at the end of the day, the armor does repair. All right, you can use cards during battle to repair it so that you're not taking as much damage, but at the end of the day, when you go to the next day, all the armor is automatically repaired, which is good. We need that because we're trying to, you know, we want to not be out there in the open, just get hammered first thing. All right, so that takes care of the second day. So now we have to decide. Do we want to go the route of going to this location and doing something and getting an additional 10 scrap by completing whatever that is, or do we just want to go straight to the end for the reward roll on the second day and complete a normal mission so that we can resupply? I really like the idea of the 10 scrap, but the reward roll, knowing that we could either get a new system or really probably what would be more advantageous to us is scrap. I'm kind of leaning towards doing the reward roll. So I think, oh man, but that's, I mean, 10 scrap that's half a crew member. The only problem with going 3 days is that will put us in the 3rd region, and that's going to be rough anyway, regardless of what we do, especially if we have combat. I think I'm gonna play it safe. I think we're just gonna go here to the end. This is another normal day. That's our move. Now we'll explore, and I think we're in pretty good shape in terms of our ship. So let's go ahead and draw. Well, let's just draw a salvage card because you guys have not seen one of those. So let's do that. Okay, here we go. Among recently claimed salvage, you find a chest bearing an Imperial seal. Choose A. Choose, and we have to do A or B. A, open it, roll for scrap twice. So we would get basically 46 rolls, right? So we could potentially get up to 24 scrap, or we can return it in hopes of a reward and have a 2 out of 3 chance of getting something, with a 5 and a 6 being nothing, 1 and a 2 being 20 scrap, and a 3 and a 4 being an additional reward roll. I think we're gonna go with option B. Unfortunately, I mean, this is like all premised on one single die roll, but let's go for it, because a reward roll or a guaranteed 20 scrap would be awesome. And what do we roll? We rolled a 6, which is your clean conscience should be reward enough. Wow, that sucks. So just out of curiosity, let's say that we had taken the other option. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We could have got 12 scrap, which would have given us 25 total. Oh well. You win some, you lose some. So that completes that card that quick. Oh, I forgot to move this. We're on day 4. But we do get a reward roll, so we are going to roll our reward roll for the assignment. All right. So we roll and we get a 5. A 5 is a random gold system. So we're going to take the gold systems, the gold system gold systems. Give it a shuffle. Shuffle in. All right, and oh goodness. Make sure I turn it right. Alright, give it a good shuffle. Alright, and then we're going to roll our dice to keep it truly random. And that's a 2. So we're going to get the 1, 2, second card. We get breach shells. Deal 2 damage. Deal an additional 1 damage for each other attack card you play this phase, not including this card. So this could be a really high damage card if you could play a number of attack cards, especially if you played this in conjunction with something like one of them we played earlier, like Matchlock Repeater, where we could drop this attack card and another card. You play those 2, and then you play this, and you've got 2, 3, 4 damage just from this card, plus 1 more from the cannon, 5, plus 1 more from the Matchlock Repeater, 6. And then if we drew something like, oh, it's still up there in our deck, but like that 3 damage card, you're talking about some serious, serious damage. So let's grab our system. Now, it's important to note, okay, that we do not have a combat system space available. So if we wanted to utilize this card into our deck, we're going to have to jettison either one of these bronze or the silver Inferno Lance. Either, what is that? The Steam Rocket, the Inferno Lance, and the Matchlock Repeater, I think. We're going to have to jettison one of those if we want to install this system. So let's look at that just right quick. Sprocket Rocket. Oh, sorry, Sprocket Rocket's what I got. So we have Sprocket Rocket and Matchlock Repeater, and then the Inferno Lance. I think if I had to choose, just thinking about going forward, if I don't sell it, then I would probably get rid of the Sprocket Rocket, just because if I got the Matchlock Repeater, I could at least play another combat card, which would help. So that's just something to consider. But what that does do is complete this assignment card, so it goes over there. We have the system, and technically now, if we look on our agenda, we have completed assignments. You may complete an assignment if you reach the end of the assignment and have met its criteria. We've done that. Return to resupply. If we've completed our assignments, we have. So now we can go through the resupply, which means this is where we can sell systems. We could buy systems or crews. So I think here's what I think. I think we're going to sell the Sprocket Rocket. Okay, we're going to sell that system, and in its place we're going to install this gold system. So Sprocket Rocket, there we go. So this Sprocket Rocket system is going to be uninstalled. We've installed, and I'll shuffle this in a second, the gold system. And now we can sell a system for half of its value. A bronze system, which is what Sprocket Rocket is worth 10. So we can only sell it for 5. That gives us 18, which really stinks. If we do that, so let's think about this. If we do that, we can't get another. We can't get another crew member. I'm kind of tempted to maybe even get rid of the Steam Albatross. I mean, it is an evade though. Man. Alright, you know what? We've done pretty well. We have several cards in here. We do have this greaser ability. Let's just go ahead and sell the Sprocket Rocket. Hopefully I'm not going to regret that decision. So we're going to take this gold card, we're going to shuffle it in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's really going to matter because the first battle, unless we do something different, is going to have all 4 of these cards anyway. So, alright, cool. So that takes care of the resupply. There is no trade. So we would start a new day. We move our marker. This is, oh. Oh, no, that's not going to help us. No, wait a minute. Let's go back. City of Flotsam. Each player's first purchase each day is reduced by 5 scrap. I did not. This is going to help us, guys. This is what we needed. So what we can do is we can actually get another greaser card and hire them for 15. That's what we're going to do. So normally it would cost 20. This is our first purchase of the day because this other was just installing a system. So we're going to spend 15 instead of 20 of our 18, which will leave us with 3, and purchase another crew member. So remember when we purchased crew, we give these a good shuffle. Alright, so there's a shuffle. Do this one more time. Shuffle, and we're going to shuffle and cut, and we get Doris Finner. Change a single reaction requirement amount to 1 once per day. So that has to do with, we got all ladies. That has to do with if we draw kind of a test card. What it'll say is it's a reaction type card, so we would have to draw 4 of these, and usually it'll look at the symbols and say if you drew 1 tech or 2 tech or 3 tech or whatever the case is, That's how that works. So we're going to say at the end of day 2 that we bought her. Now we have 2, with 2 greasers, we have 2 armors, and we do have a once per trip shield repair too. So hopefully that will be beneficial. Now we're going to draw 2 assignments because we do not have assignments. Okay. And we have thin the ranks and easy pickings. Thin the ranks. The commander is in the area. See if you can separate some of their forces. Draw 1 enemy ship. If you need this ship, reduce the amount of enemy ships of the commander at event B that event B brings. So if we could do anything here on the next day, if we fight a commander, if we had went the 3rd day, right, if we had gone to this stop, we could reduce the number of ships. However, we only have 2 days. So really on the 2nd day, it doesn't matter what this is, because we're going to have to go with what is over here on our mission card. Okay. So realistically, both of these have the same starting day, which is we choose. So we'll just pick one. We'll pick we'll pick thin ranks. That's fine. So we're going to put that right there. This other one goes to the bottom of our assignment deck. And here we go. We move. We get to choose. We could choose combat or we could choose salvage. And I think this is very much a long shot, but I think I'm going to choose salvage because once per trip I can use this Olivia Pinkerton's ability to hire a crew at full price. So on the off chance that we somehow got enough scrap, 17 more scrap, we could actually purchase a 3rd crew member, which could be useful. Now we are going to get 3 for each ship that we kill, unless it's a commander. If we draw from the combat deck, we are going to get 3 6-sided dice rolls. So we could potentially get up to 18, but that's a perfect roll. And if it is a commander, we're not going to get any scrap. It's just going to be a reward roll, although he could bring in other ships. But at the same time, if we do that, we're risking taking some damage for the final fight, which is going to be tough. Which is just going to be a commander and 1 ship, but still 2 to 1, and they're at full complement. They're going to be beating on us pretty hard. Let's go with a salvage. All right. Plunge and peril. You find a sinking ship. Sadly, a malfunction forces to work with the wreck half submerged. A dangerous task on the best of days. Choose play it safe. Roll once for scrap, or B, select a crew member to dive deep. If we roll a 1 or a 2, we get a reward roll. 3 or 4, the crew member and their faction gets placed on cooldown, basically like they've been used, or bubbles mark their descent, but soon these buoyant messengers lose that crew member. Wow. Or we could just take a reward roll. A scrap, which would be 3d6. Ugh. Well, gosh, Gosh, I hate to lose this other person. Alright, I think in this case I'm going to take the option and roll for scrap. So now the way that I understand this, it says roll once for scrap. I'm assuming that because it's day 3, we still roll 3 6-sided die. Oh wow, holy cow. That's just, is that, no, that's not quite enough, is it? 6, 4, and 5. That puts us up to 18. Dadgummit. Just too short, but that was almost perfect roll. Wow. So we do not have quite enough to get another crew member. Alright, well, it is what it is. So that completes that task. Now we go to the finale. We're going to, doesn't really matter where we go because we go to our mission sheet. We're on the last step, and it says event criteria: complete assignments in the amount of 1 for each player if completed, which we have done that. Draw and fight 1 enemy commander. Instead of that commander's enemy ship draws, draw 1 additional enemy ship for each player. Alright, so basically we're going to draw 1 enemy commander. His ship is going to be the Donnybrook, which has got 3 shields, 2 health, and 2 crew. So let's go ahead and populate all that. There's the 2 crew and 3 shields, 2 health. And the commander is Alexander. Now, here's the deal with Alexander. Normally they would draw +1 enemy ship, which in this case works because we're only supposed to draw 1. But if this had said, for instance, draw 2 enemy ships, we still only would have drawn one because that's what our criteria said. Looking at Alexander, they got all damage, 2 damage, 1 damage, 2 damage, 1 direct damage. So direct damage means that it bypasses our shields. So that's gonna hurt like a mother. And then we have another ship, the Misbehavior. That's funny. It's got 4 health and 2 crew, and 1 through 4 is 1 damage. So this is going to be definitely a tough fight. So let's give this 2 crew, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So this commander ship is really where we want these cards. So a battle sequence, declare our target. So now we've got to decide, do we want to take out the commander or the Misbehavior? I think definitely the commander because there's way more potential damage. So we're going to target the commander with our token. Alright, and then we're going to draw 4 cards. That's all that's left here. And what do we have? We have deflection, 2 deflections, system maintenance, and breach shells. Now, unfortunately, we do not have unfortunately we do not have well, this will actually work out, maybe. We don't have a another combat card, okay? But so here's what I'm thinking. So I think if I play this for this crew member right here, that's 1 combat card. Then I can play a maneuver card because of this greaser. I'm going to play that maneuver card, and that is place 1 cube on this card for each of your currently undamaged armor upgrades. which in this case would be 2. 1, 2. And then for myself as the captain, I'm going to play system maintenance, and I'm going to place this card on an action deck card. It doesn't matter what it is you currently have in play. When that card is discarded, instead placed on top of your deck. So basically, I'm going to play this on breach shells so that I know I get that back. And I'm going to hold on to deflection, hoping that I have some armor left, or I can use my abilities to repair my armor and then play my card in the next round to get some additional blockage, because we're gonna need it, and hopefully maybe get some more combat cards to do a lot more damage with these breach shells. Because the good thing, what we know for sure with this commander, is there is no dodging, and the same thing with the other this misbehavior ship that is running with him. Neither one of these have any sort of dodge, so they're definitely going to take whatever damage we can dish. So we just have to dish out basically as much damage as we can. So that will, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna hold on to deflection, so I'm gonna set it right here. That is everything we need to do. Now we roll for these ships, and this is where the pain train pulls into town. This will be for the commander. So we have a 1, 2, and a 5. This is not good for the misbehavior. Let's see, for the misbehavior, a 1, 2, and a 3. And there is only one target. So, and that target is us. So a 1 is 2 damage. A 2 is 1 damage, that's 3 damage. A 5 is 2 damage, that's 5 damage to us. And then we have another 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. So, let me look something up and see when I can use my abilities, and see if I can use those in like a reactionary way. Because as I'm taking this damage, so like if this is what I'm looking at it now. If I took 8 total, right? Because I've got 2 damage from the commander, 1 damage from the commander, and then 2 more damage. 2 damage, 1 damage, 2 damage. That's 5, right? And then I've got 3 damage total from this other, so that's 8. So if I took this, then that would be 6, 5, 4. But if I could use my greasers as I'm taking that damage, then I could last at least 1 more round. So let me see if I can find anything about that. Okay, I may be playing this wrong because I can't find anything that says that they can't do this. So I'm going to assume that I could use their abilities, if it's all simultaneous, to offset some damage in addition to the cards. So remember, we have 8 total damage coming at us, right? So 2 of that comes off the deflection. Boom. Then we take 2. So there was 6 left. Let's use this as a counter. So there was 6 damage left. We take 2. These are flipped. I'm going to then use both of these guys, these greasers, to repair these, right? Which would put them back. So that leaves us back with 2. And then we would actually basically take 2. Alright. And now all the damage is resolved. We resolve ours, that's 2 damage. So that's 2 off the enemy commander. And that's a discard. System maintenance gets discarded. This technically goes back to the top of the deck. and we'll shuffle, and that resolves all the damage. That was rough. That was an example of where we really needed 3 hull and 2 deflections, because wowza. Give this a good shuffle. Shuffle. This is what makes this mission so hard. You think, oh, it's just 6 days, but it's 6 days, and you really don't have enough time to get really good equipment. So you could get another hull or another health or something like that, but you really don't have time to build up like a lot of the other missions to get to the point where you can really take these guys on. And I just realized that I forgot to change the region, which doesn't really matter because we took scrap. We got the Skara hunting grounds. All enemy ships in Legion faction get 1 additional crew member. That does not did not affect us. Would not have affected us. So, all right. So this card, this is the breach shells. It goes on top, and we start a new round. Declare targets. Well, we're going to keep our same target, and we draw. Remember, we already have 1 in our hand, so that's 2, 3, 4. We have cannon blast, system maintenance, which we just saw, deflection, which we just saw, and breach shells. So, what to do? Well, I guess we might as well use our special ability to repair once per trip. Immediately repair 1 of your currently damaged hull. Let's go ahead and repair an armor. And that's really about all we can do. So, I guess we'll play deflection. I don't think it's going to matter with this crew member, since we have that spot access. Then we'll play breach shells with this crew member, and then we get to play 1. We'll go ahead and play cannon blast and see what happens. I think this is the end, because we're going to take at least 3 damage. If it's all 5s and 6s here and all 1 damage is here, we'll live. And actually we would kill the commander, which would be great. But it's going to be a heck of a roll. So start with the commander's roll. Okay. 4, 2, 2. And for the bandit, we have 1, 2, 5. Okay, so 4 is 1 direct damage, and 2 is 1 damage. Let me check something else. Okay, what I thought I had read at some point was if you, in this case I rolled 2 2s, that they didn't stack, or that they did stack. So in other words, if I had rolled 2 2s, it wasn't 2 twice, it would have just been 2. But I think that I can't find that anywhere in the rule book. They must be thinking of something completely different. So 4, that's 1 direct damage, and then 2 2s is regular damage, and then the misbehavior rolled a 1, 2, and a 5. That's 1 is 1 damage, 2 is a damage, then a 5 is nothing. So we'll just use the dice like this. So we're going to get a total of 2 damage from that. We're going to get a total of 2 damage from the the commander, plus 1 direct damage. So it's not going to matter. 1 direct damage. Direct damage bypasses the shields and flips our health. Then we have 2 regular damage, so we'll take 1 off there. 2 for the armor, so that resolves the Warlord. But then we've got 2 more regular damage, and that is enough to destroy us right there. If it's any consolation, we deal a total of 4 damage here. So we technically took out the Warlord. Alright. But we took him out in a blaze of glory, and he took us out in a blaze of glory. So there you go. That is, we thought we were doing okay. That is unfortunately the last day, so we actually failed this mission. But that gives you a good idea of how it plays. We can do some longer missions, definitely. That will give us time to really upgrade our systems and really have a lot more going on here than we actually had this time in other missions. So hopefully this gave you a good idea of how the game plays. It's definitely it can be very difficult, right? And to be fair, this particular scenario difficulty is hard. So you know, not necessarily the best one to learn on. Their tutorial walkthrough uses that. I believe uses that one, but they pre-do the decks and tell you what happens, and you make it out alive with that. But you know, that's not how it works in the real world, I guess you could say. But anyway, hopefully, like I said, that gives you a good idea of how this plays. If you have any questions, comments, let me know what you think, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, what you think could be improved, and we'll definitely try a different mission, maybe one a bit simpler, easier, maybe a bit longer, so we have some time to really actually ramp up and kind of explore and work with our ship. And we may pick a different ship too, just so you can see something else going on. But thank you for watching and subscribing. Thank you for being part of the channel. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me and checking out these games, and I hope you enjoyed it. I am the Board Game Roamer, and I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, in the next video. Bye, guys.